It's not another Buffalo podcast, hosted by three of the most underqualified sports personalities this side of the canal. With John.
There's no way in hell that I can leave that in, right?
You don't think so?
Well, to quote Rage Against the Machine, what better place than here? And, what better time than now?
And Brando.
We have this trust built on, whatever it is, like Bibles and gold bricks and whatever Brandon Bean's drinking over there.
Welcome back to Not Another Buffalo podcast. I'm John. I'm here with my buddy Brando here on a Tuesday. Well, it's not even a Tuesday evening. It's Wednesday.
Wednesday.
I don't know what it's Wednesday, my dudes. I don't know what day of the week it is. It's Easter break for most of you guys up there in the north, right? So there's that. Hope you guys are enjoying some time off.
Being in Florida, these kids are in school right now.
Yeah, spring break is like a month ago for the South. That's why I'm used to that schedule around here, and I forget it's so late up there. But
yeah, and they might get Monday off down here, but they don't get the whole week. It's different everywhere you go. So
yeah, still getting snow up north. It was 80 here on Monday, but we also have like full weeks of tornadoes and stuff like that. So,
well,
you win some, you lose some.
It was 85 and sunny here today. So
nice.
When we got 2 inches of snow, my mom texted me. Like, sorry, Mom. I got sunburned today. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, before we get too far, I want to let you guys know this episode is brought to you by Small City Realty. If you're looking to buy, sell, or manage property in Western New York, our guy, Zach Korzelius, you can call him at 585-409-1088. That's 585-409-1088. Or contact him at Zachary at smallcityrealestate.com. Best realtor in Western New York, buying, selling, or if you need help with property management, he's your guy. Give him a shout. So, Brando, obviously you're playing on an away game today. Yes. You got the B setup going on, but hopefully we're gonna make it through this episode without an unplug. I think we can do it. But fair warning to listeners, if there's an awkward edit and it sounds like did they just hop from one topic to another? It's definitely because Brandon's mic unplugged. So
I messed up.
But fun topic today. Again, we're getting closer to the draft, and Brandon and I are not giving our mock drafts because there's 697 other ones out there that are much more well prepared. And we're busy guys. We're doing our other jobs and stuff like that, so we just have time to hop on here and talk casually about the Bills every week.
Players. There's so many.
Right.
How do you know them all?
I know. We'll save our research till after we know who they have, and then we can tell you about them then. But we should do a draft. So we're gonna do a little draft here. We used to do these pretty often on the show. We were hoping to get Pat on. He's obviously not able to make it, so we will make this a 2-person draft. But obviously talking about the Masters last week and March Madness just went by too. It seems like a good time to draft the best sports days of the year.
Yep.
And I think there's some really good answers in here because it's different for everybody individually.
Yeah.
But also objectively, I think that there is just some best sports days of the year. It depends on what sports you like, obviously. But we're going to hash it out here, debate it, and draft. What, you want to do like 5 rounds? You said?
Sure. And I want to set some ground rules here. So like if I say the Olympic Games, it has to be summer or winter. I have to make it specific. But is it like opening ceremony? Is it like the gold medal finalists? Is it like the whole 2-week block of the Winter Olympics?
I wasn't thinking about Olympics, actually. I was just thinking about like American sports for the most part.
Well, just something, or like the NBA finals, so like, is it that whole week? Is it?
I would say if you're going to do game like NBA finals, like you'd be like game 7 of the NBA finals would be your draft pick. Cause that's like the best day of the NBA finals, right?
Yeah. I like all of them.
Maybe
only because of our memories together on the finals. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that has a lot to do with it.
All right. We'll get there.
I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. Yeah. We can debate about rules while we do the draft. We can change the mid draft. This is not just another Buffalo podcast.
It's the cool part about having your own show, right? You get to make the rules. Yeah.
All right. So speaking of making our own rules, we don't have a coin nearby, so I'm going to flip this effing guitar pick.
John has a mixing business. For those of you that don't know, he's pretty good at it. Check it out. He plays guitar.
Not concrete mixing, music mixing. I've gotten that question before.
You made me laugh.
Brandon, did you hit? Oh, geez.
Is it back? Can you hear me?
All right. Unplug number 1 has happened already.
John made me laugh about concrete mixing.
That's all right. If that didn't make it in before his mic unplugged, there's no way to explain that without the context. So we're just going to move on. We're going to flip this guitar pick to see who goes first. I'm assuming whoever wants the number 1 overall pick.
Yes.
But yeah. All right. So you want marked or unmarked?
marked.
It is unmarked. I can hold it up and show it to you.
Did it rotate in the air or did it just do a little?
It did rotate.
Okay, take the first overall pick, buddy. That's fine.
All right. I actually kind of wanted to pick second, but no, okay. I'm going to pick first because this is my definitive best sporting day of the year. And it just happened. It's Thursday at the Masters. And I know you might say like, oh, well, Sunday at the Masters is pretty good. It was this time. It's not always.
That's true.
But that Thursday at the Masters is always the same level of excitement because anyone can win it. Your guy can win it. The amateurs can still win it at that point, technically, even though they're not going to. Like Fred Couples is out there, putting
yellow
up
ball.
71s with a yellow ball and chipping in from 90 yards and stuff like that. So I'm going to go Thursday at the Masters. That might be a hot take for those of you who like Sunday at the Masters, but I love going to masters.com, setting up 3 different screens while I work.
Yeah.
Getting nothing done all day and just enjoying the Masters, following my bets,
I have
betting on a
trivia
couple
for
guys
you.
here and there, which by the way, was a pretty good Masters for that too. My 3 guys that I bet on were Rory, biggest bet. Second biggest bet was Bryson, which obviously he faded. And then my third biggest bet was Oberg, who was at the top of the leaderboard
He's
until
the man, dude.
he blew up on the 18th. So.
He did. He cost himself, I think, what, 500 grand? Did you see that stat?
At least.
Yeah. So I have trivia for you, John. Maybe you can get this right. Who is the last wire-to-wire Masters winner? It has happened in the last 10 years.
From day one.
Yep.
I don't know. Did Scotty do it?
Nope.
The first time he did it? I can't remember.
2015, kind of notable name, was pretty young at the time.
Spieth?
Yep. Jordan Spieth.
Okay. Interesting.
It's only happened 5 times, according to Wikipedia. Now, I don't know if I believe this or not, but Craig Wood in 1941, Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, Raymond Floyd, and Jordan Spieth, newest to do it in 2015.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
does that mean Sunday at the Masters is on the board still?
Yes, it is.
I can't take that now. I feel like all the Masters. You got the Masters. That's good.
All right. That's fair.
Thursday at the Masters is fun for me as a teacher. I put it on at school. I had my first graders watching. They were all into it. They sat quietly for the first time in 135 school days to watch the Masters. It was cool. All the kids love it too. It's a big day for everybody. If you do work pools, I led in my work pool from Thursday to Saturday or just till Sunday at 4 p.m. And so, you never know. You have your hopes and your dreams, and then you miss a 3-foot putt and you lose. So,
right.
But that's a good one.
I'm going a wild ride. I mean, we could have had a whole episode just on that, but it's going to be Thursday already by the time this comes out. So,
yeah. All right. I have a unique one here, sir. Last year, it was October 28th. In previous years, it is a different day.
I know what this is, and I actually had this on my list.
It's the sports equinox.
This is the fall sports equinox.
It's fall sports equinox. NFL.
I actually had eclipse written down, but that's wrong. It's the equinox.
Equinox, right? Eclipse. They're in the same ballpark, right?
Yeah. So something like that.
You get the World Series usually.
Yep.
Series. Yep. Usually get some college football. Can you hear me?
You unplugged, buddy. All right, that's 2 unplugs for those keeping track at home.
Yep. All right. Sports equinox, end of October. You got World Series baseball, NFL season, college football, NBA, NHL, and even the MLS played on that Sunday, October 28th. So I love that day. I remember maybe a couple years ago, it was Kobe's last game. Was on or around the sports equinox. So it was like I had a baseball game on, I had hockey on, I had football, basketball. It was great. I love that day of the year. It's great for betting if you ever want to make a parlay, something from every sport. Right. The equinox parlay is always really fun. I put that on my list. Masters would have been number 1 for me by far, probably. But the sports equinox, as a avid fan of all the leagues, that's my number 1. I love it. Yeah, that whole time of year, that whole last little bit of fall before you get into November.
Football season is hitting its stride. Yep. Like you've got the World Series, you got the NBA finals, and hockey season. No,
NBA just starts. That's the
you're right. Sorry.
Yeah, backwards there, but that's okay.
When are the WNBA finals? Maybe those are late in the summer or I can't remember because they're the league that they do their draft right after the year finishes up or something like that.
Actually, the WNBA playoffs fall into that range. It's September 22nd through October 20th of 2024.
Okay. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I'll be okay.
Interesting.
Anyway.
Anyways,
All right.
that's my pick.
Pick number 3, I'm going to go with the first Thursday of March Madness.
Yeah.
This is by far, the Friday is the same too, but it's that first Thursday. It's the same thing. I'm supposed to be working, but I have 5 screens set up watching 5 different games, watching my bracket get obliterated on the first day. There's nothing like it. It's great. 11 a.m. Central hits and it's boom, I know what I'm doing for the rest of the day. And so again, I feel like the first day of these sports events, they might not be the most dramatic, but it's everything's still in play. All the expectations are still high. And sometimes the days after, they just don't live up to the crazy hype. Now, obviously, past March Madness was not as exciting as some had been in the past. We ended up with 4 number 1 seeds and all that, but I still love that day of the year. That one's definitely a top one for me.
That's a good one. I feel like I've watched less of it as I've gotten older. I feel like it's harder to watch during the day. I'll put golf on for my students, but March Madness, we'll see. No, I'm just kidding. I do that for my students too. All right. So my next pick, I'm going to pick the divisional weekend playoffs for NFL.
Really?
Yeah. NFL divisional playoffs weekend. It is kind of terrible for the Bills recently.
It's been a mixed bag.
It has not been a good bag. I mean, we have lost more in there than we have won, which is fine. But the games are so good. And when you're watching these games, what was it? Was it this year or last year? Every team that was leading at halftime lost. I think that as a stat somewhere. It's these games turn over, they flip upside down, a blowout in one game, and then they come back or whatever it is. I think of that Texans Chiefs game a few years ago.
Yeah, 24-0.
Yeah, and they came back to win the 13 seconds game. All these crazy games on divisional weekend. They're the best teams left in the playoffs. Get those crappy wild cards out of here. I was going to pick wild card weekend. I'm like, nah, I don't want to watch 7 and 19 play on a weekend. So
yeah, not a lot of upsets in wild card rounds.
Correct.
Recently.
Yes. But anybody can win the divisional round, really.
Right.
I mean, we saw Blake Bortles do it once.
Yeah. All right. Well, I have the Super Bowl on my list higher, but I think I'm going to make an audible pick because I would say, and I had both of these even listed above divisional round week. I think the first Sunday of NFL football, turning on Red Zone, if the Bills aren't playing Sunday at 1 p.m., if you can turn on Red Zone for the very first time in the year and it's 8 hours of commercial-free football for the very first time, oh man, I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about it.
You got your food, you got your coffee ready to go. Yeah.
Coffee, I mean, sometimes coffee, sometimes beer. Well, most of the time beer.
Well, that's true. Well, I was thinking it's a little earlier for you, 12 o'clock, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's beer o'clock if there's football on. So, this is just a great day of the year. I hope Scott Hansen does NFL Red Zone forever. There are some rumors that he might not be, which is scary, and I hate it. I don't know if there's any truth to that, or maybe that was just some dumb tweet from ML Football or one of the Dove Kleeman or one of these spam accounts. But there is rumors of Scott Hansen doing a whip around Olympics coverage, which would be sick.
See that. Yeah, that
would be great. Okay, I would love that.
Question for you, John.
Yeah,
the Masters coverage that was this past week, I thought was pretty poor. I don't know if you saw the breakdown of players' shots broadcasted.
Yes.
And it was kind of crazy. We didn't see any Bryson on Friday. He's leading, right? Or he's in second place. He's pushing for it.
Yeah.
Why is there not?
Well, the real ones know you don't just turn on CBS on Friday afternoon and hope to get it. You got to do the streams online. They didn't have him in the featured groups, so you had to follow along with the holes. So you couldn't see him on
hole 14, 15, and 16 at Amen Corner.
Right.
I had ESPN up. I had CBS on. I had Paramount Stream on. I had the Masters app on, and I was having a heck of a time with it.
It was so the one thing that I had to do. Yes, you're right. Actually, that was kind of frustrating because I had an old laptop, or actually no, the iPad out open, and you can follow a player where it'll basically have a screen with their scorecard. And then as their shots come in and are taped, it'll play them one by one as they come in. Cool. So you can basically, if you have a screen to kill, if you have a screen aside, you can just pull up. I had Bryson there while I was watching everybody else, and they were, whipping around and, had shots, stuff like that. But it's not perfect. It takes a while. The shots are usually a little bit delayed. you see the score posted before you see the shots.
Gotcha.
So you're like,
You know what happens.
I know what, if Rory's got a 3 on the scorecard here and I'm waiting to see the shot, that would be the case.
Yeah.
But so it's not perfect, but at least all of that is free.
Yeah.
And it's like mostly ad free.
Yeah.
So,
hey, we get our money's worth for Red Zone, but I feel like Jim Nantz also, it's kind of like Red Zone. He has other guys working with him when they go golfer to golfer, and if you ever go to an event, which is kind of cool, when I went to the PGA Championship in Rochester, you see the guys talking on the air. And you have the guys that follow the groups. You have the towers. You see the people in the towers. But I think Jim Nantz does a good job of that. But I feel like there's a little space there that somebody could come in and really nail it for the whole week.
Yeah. And I also don't I hate when there's not shot tracer on every shot.
Crazy.
Like
to me.
I need the shot tracer on every shot.
And they just show the ball flying in the blue sky.
Right. I was like, I don't care. I was like, I don't care if you can zoom in on the ball and then wait to see where it goes.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see what kind of shot he hit.
Yeah.
Did he try to hit the McIlroy crazy 7-iron draw around the trees that just somehow landed there?
It's crazy. I wish.
Right. All right. Whose turn is it? I think I just drafted Red Zone for Sunday, right?
Yes. Okay. So I'll go and I'll take the Thanksgiving Day.
Yep,
Thanksgiving.
That's a good one. Thanksgiving Day football.
Yep. And the Bills being in it really made me cherish it more going to Detroit, seeing my favorite Bills game of all time. I think when the Bills beat the Lions, seeing Josh Allen's greatest throw of all time, just Stephon Diggs over the middle with my dad. He flew in from Florida. I drove into Detroit, our previous hometown. So it was a good time watching it with my parents and my sister, when they played the Saints and so on and so forth, and the Cowboys. So good core memories there for family, and the whole world's watching. You get 3 straight games. You get to sit there for a long time and watch football. So I love that. Good food.
Yeah.
Good people. Can't complain.
It's a great day.
Yep.
It's a really great day. And the food definitely makes it for that too. All right. Who do I want to draft next? I'm going to take a wild card here. And this is something I think that this resonates with me because there's exactly one Indy race that I will watch per year, and it's the Indy 500.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a thing for a lot of people who are not even necessarily the biggest motorsports fans will watch the Indy 500. It's exciting. It's a great track for that. It's crazy what those cars do around that track, how fast they're going through a corner, full gas, over 200 miles an hour the entire time, in a little pea pod that is the only thing between you and death. It's crazy what they do with that.
It is crazy.
F1 drivers do not do circuits because it's too dangerous.
Yeah.
Or do circular or ovals.
Yeah. They make their track custom built for their cars for safety. Right. Yeah.
Well, they're just slower naturally and they have straights and stuff like that. Yeah. But ovals like this, it's just insane. It's out of your mind racing. It's cool. The milk it's just a tradition that goes back. Yeah.
So you're talking Indy 500. That's the opener, right? For NASCAR. That's the season opener.
No, for Indy racing. So it's the open wheel race at Indianapolis.
Okay. Oh,
yeah. So not the Daytona 500.
Okay. I mixed those two up because that was another one that I was reading a lot about. People put as one of their top events of the year.
Yeah. I have that on my list, but I actually would put the Indy 500 above it.
I would say
just because usually if you watch Daytona, you're a NASCAR fan. Right.
Yeah.
But there are so many non-race sports fans that it's just Memorial Day weekend.
That's the one on Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah. So you have the Triple Crown of racing. You always have Monaco for F1. Then you have the Indy 500. And then you have the Coke or the Pepsi 600 for NASCAR, which drivers have actually done double duty before where they've raced in the Indy 500 and then gone to the NASCAR night race. They've taken a helicopter and done both. It is a really long day. You lose 20 pounds.
I bet. I feel I don't mean to be insulting, but I would take the last 20 laps. I'll take that. I don't want the first 475 laps.
That's all right. Yeah. That's all right. Well, it's not 500 laps. It's just 500 miles.
Yeah.
So however long that track is, it's 2 miles or something like that.
Still crazy.
It is crazy. 250 laps so much or something that goes into it. But yeah. But that's a good one. So that's my next pick.
Okay.
That's number 7.
Okay, so I'm on the clock. So my next pick is going to be the U.S. Open on Father's Day weekend. I believe it is. I'll take Sunday, Father's Day Sunday, U.S. Open. final Sunday.
That's right.
One of my earliest golf memories was watching the year Tiger broke his leg, right? He's playing the US Open, maybe the last major he won before the Masters in 2019. Maybe it was his 14th major. I was golfing with my dad, I believe, at Eagle Vale Country Club. I broke a club. I hit the ball. The club head went farther. But I remember getting updates from him. I was with him a lot watching those US Opens throughout the years. You know, it's a fun event. It's supposed to be one of the hardest. You know, the US Open, they let the rough grow out. And, you know, they make it super difficult. All the greens are super hard, right? Like Pinehurst last year, they had to water them a little bit because they were too hard, right? For these pros to play. It's the end of the school year for me. It's usually the last weekend of the school year. Going into the summertime, really get the golf bug by then. If you don't have it by then, man, I don't know what you got. So
especially in Western New York. Yeah.
So Father's Day weekend, it also coincides with the open of bass season too, I believe. Like those kind of line up together. So they could be fishing, watching the US Open, chilling with your pops. You know, it's a good weekend.
I love it. That's a good one. All right. So we've made 8 picks so far. So one more pick for each of us. I'm going to go. I have like first night of the Stanley Cup playoffs, game 7 of a Stanley Cup final, game 7 of an NBA final. Those are all good, but I don't know. I'm just going to go for me, that first Bills primetime game of the year.
Okay.
That's going to be my last pick on here.
Yeah. You get to see the lights, man. The camera crews are out there. The schools, Orchard Park School gets half days, right? Like it's cool.
It's just that fall weather.
Yeah.
Just at night is so good. Yeah. It's so good. It starts to get a little chilly after a long, hot summer. Yep. There's nothing better.
Oh, I got one more. I don't know, man. I don't know which one I like better. NHL has better gameplay than the NBA finals. This is what I'm torn on. I'm torn on the start of the NHL playoffs or the start of the NBA playoffs. Or the NBA finals. I'm sorry. NHL playoffs or NBA finals. NBA finals is close to home with me because we all watched them together for like 5 straight years there. It was really what turned me into a basketball fan. I just texted Izzy, actually, my Pistons are playing the Knicks first round. And I haven't watched a game with him in forever. And I was like, yo, we're getting together for this game, right? You want to hang out? And he's like, yeah, well, we haven't done it in a while. So go Pistons this weekend against the Knicks. I think I'm going to go with the start of the NHL playoffs. I did a thing. Friend of the show, Sam, does it too, actually, with her kindergarten kids. They pick a team out of a hat and we do a bracket. And it's like, okay, Grayson gets the Rangers, Luke gets the Penguins, whatever. And, you know, you follow it along throughout the end of the school year. And whichever team wins gets a party, right? The kid gets to plan a party for this day. You bring him an ice cream cake or whatever. Yeah. And like my kindergartners from last year in first grade, they still talk to me about it. They still remember their team that they had. You know, we teach them math. I teach them how to do the series. You know, like, okay, New York wins game 1. They have to win 4. So, you know, how many more games is it going to take? That sort of stuff. Put the highlights. We do highlights during like snack time and all that stuff. So, and the intensity level of the NHL playoffs, man, it's another level compared. I feel like the NBA gets a little bit more intense at the start of the playoffs. They play better defense, at least, right? You know, they're at least trying on defense. But the finals is where it really kicks up into another gear for the NBA. But in the NHL, you know, it's a whole different game. The refs call it differently.
Playoff hockey looks different.
Yeah, the goalies play differently. The refs call games differently. I mean, you look at the Leafs. This is a great example. The Leafs, you know, they're like goals for per game in the regular season. It's like, you know, 4.5 goals per game. Then they go to the playoffs and they change their whole style to play defense. It's like defense wins the playoffs, but they lose every time. So it's like, but what if you score 7 goals a game? You'll be fine. But you're trying to not let the other team score. You go away from your identity. So like, there's so much that goes into it. 82 game season. You got to win 16 games to win the Stanley Cup, and it's the hard. All
right, that was unplug number 4 or 5. I don't remember.
I believe it's 4, but I had to unplug it again to get it to work. So I guess that's 4 and 5.
4, yeah, that's all right.
I owe you 5 beers.
That's okay. I'll have them all at once at some point next time I see you. All right. So that was everything. What did you draft last?
Stanley Cup.
Okay. Yeah. We were talking about
Start of the Stanley Cup.
That's right. That's right. That's good. Yeah. I was going to say, I had some other things on here that some other people that are bigger fans of baseball, like MLB opening day.
The fact that we didn't have that, it just shows, you know, we're not huge baseball guys.
We're not huge baseball fans. Yeah. It's like if Buffalo had an MLB team, we'd be baseball fans too. But
I was a Blue Jays fan there for a minute.
Yeah. When they were playing in Buffalo, that was really cool. Which, by the way, I think I told you about this, but it was really cool. So I bought my parents tickets to see the Blue Jays when they were in Buffalo as a gift. And I was jealous because I didn't get to go do that myself, see a major league team play in a minor league park. And I stumbled into an opportunity to do that a couple weeks ago. I was out in Sacramento, and the A's, in their transition from, Oakland to Vegas, while the stadium's being built in Vegas, are playing in Sacramento for a few years in a really nice minor league park. Yeah. And so it was really cool. It was like, we knew someone who had box seats that was like, hey, want to come? And it was sick. It was an amazing experience. Daytime game during the week in a box. So that was a lot of fun. They were playing the Cubs.
That's cool. Do they win?
No. It's the A's, man.
Yeah. Well, it's also the Cubs, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
no, that's cool.
Tough
Another one.
A's, but
a couple of honorable mentions. WrestleMania. Timmy, my shout out to Timmy. Text me that one.
That's funny. Kentucky Derby, I think.
Kentucky Derby.
That's an all-time one that I think you have to attend before you die, right? That's what I hear.
I'd rather just bet $2 on DraftKings, man.
Right.
Like, I don't know. For a 4-minute race, I'm going into Kentucky. I don't know about that. The other one that was popular amongst my friends when I asked them this question was the new Four Nations tournament, or the World of Hockey, when that happened in Toronto, maybe like 10 years ago now, 8 years ago now. You know, and now the World Cup is going to be the world, whatever. What is it? You know, nations.
Four nations. Yeah.
They're going to do something like that every other year now. It'll be regularly scheduled programming for the NHL.
Yeah. I can't believe the NFL Pro Bowl did not get drafted. What a mystery.
It's just like the NBA All-Star game.
Right.
We can pick the worst ones.
Yeah. Oh, we can do that next week, especially with Pat. That'd be great. Yeah. But I was gonna say Olympic opening ceremonies is another good one too. I look
Olympics
forward to
in itself.
those.
Nobody picked the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was gonna say nobody did pick the Super Bowl. If the Bills had played it in recently, I think that would have ranked up there. But it's usually a day where like, okay, we get to eat good food and then freaking watch the Chiefs. Like, so that's why it's been kind of low on the list as of the recency bias.
The NBA finals, like I said, I was hemming and hawing there.
I think we summed it up. If you guys think of anything that are listening, shoot us an email, tweet us, Instagram DM, whatever, at Not Buff Podcast. But I ran out of water like 20 minutes ago, so I'm barely making it through here.
Unplug number 3.
Yes, unplug number 3 was probably when I should have grabbed some water, but I didn't. So let's wrap it up and get out of here. You guys know where to find us on all platforms at Not Buff Podcast. Draft coming up. Should be an exciting week next week. Not sure what we'll do. We'll figure it out then, because that's what we always do, NABP style. So hopefully we'll get Pat on, and we'll see you guys next week. Go Bills.
Do good, be good. God bless. Go Bills. Such a mouthful.